Hey everyone, today we're breaking down Dune Part 1, the long-awaited adaptation of Frank Herbert's classic novel. Before we begin, be warned, spoilers ahead. This tale begins with a prophecy and a power struggle that spans galaxies. At its heart, the young Paul Atreides, heir to the noble House Atreides, is destined for greatness beyond his understanding. In the year 10,191, Arrakis is ruled by the cruel Harkonnens, who have become very rich by harvesting the mystical spice, also known as melange, a precious resource coveted by civilizations across the cosmos, which is guarded by sandworms, the sole producers of spice. The Fremen, who are the native people of Arrakis, have been attempting to expel the Harkonnens, but their efforts have been largely unsuccessful. However, the Padishah Emperor Shaddam IV has ordered the Harkonnens to leave Arrakis. On the planet Caladan, we see Paul Atreides, son of the House Atreides leader, with his mother Lady Jessica, who is Duke Leto's concubine and the leader of House Atreides. Jessica also belongs to the Bene Gesserit. It's a group of female spies, theologians, and scientists with enhanced physical and mental abilities and mystical roots. Jessica teaches Paul the supernatural abilities of the Bene Gesserit. She teaches him the Voice, which allows him to command others. He also learns physical combat through Gurney Halleck in Duncan, Idaho. Paul seems to have visions and dreams regarding a Fremen girl named Chani, who resides on Arrakis. Leto Atreides receives an envoy from the Imperial Court, who formalizes the granting of Arrakis to House Atreides. We learn that the House of Atreides has been chosen to take control of the spice mining operations in Arrakis. The Emperor fears Leto's increasing political power and popularity in the Landsraad, a gathering of noble houses. Leto realizes that his appointment to oversee Arrakis is a trap of some sort, but he cannot refuse the imperial orders. Leto elaborates on the political situation to Paul, explaining that the Emperor has created a conflict between House Atreides and House Harkonnen. This war will weaken them both, benefiting the Emperor. Instead of engaging in this war, Leto intends to ally with the Fremen, use their desert power to his advantage, and outsmart the Emperor. During a sparring session, Gurney tells Paul that he needs to be more cautious of the danger posed by the Harkonnens. Just as things go on, Paul starts having dreams of Chani, just as he did before. Reverend Mother Gaius Helen Mohiam, Jessica's Bene Gesserit superior, arrives on Caladan to test Paul. Before the test, a Suk doctor named Wellington Yui inspects Paul and warns him of the Bene Gesserit's hidden motives. Mohiam accuses Jessica of believing that her son might be a messiah-like figure called Kwisatz Haderach. Jessica confirms this belief, but Mohiam warns her that Paul's abilities are not yet fully developed and may not survive the upcoming challenges. After Mohiam leaves, Jessica explains to Paul that the Bene Gesserit have been crossbreeding for many generations to produce a super being known as the Kwisatz Haderach, who is believed to be capable of leading humanity. Even though she was instructed to give birth to a girl, Jessica chose to give birth to Paul because she believed him to be the future Kwisatz Haderach. The Bene Gesserit have also spent centuries growing religion on Arrakis, centered around the idea of a messiah known as the Lisan al-Gaib, or Mahdi. This figure is believed to be from another world that would understand the ways of the Fremen and lead them to paradise. Soon enough, the Atreides family arrive on the planet Arrakis. As they step off their ship, the locals start chanting a phrase that Paul doesn't understand. He asks his mother, who explains that it's a local prophecy about the Lisan al-Gaib, or the voice from the outer world. The Messiah prophesied to come to Arrakis. Jessica believes that Paul might be this figure, but Paul dismisses it as a superstitious belief spread by the Bene Gesserit. Jessica hires a Fremen servant named Shaddam Mapes, who sees Jessica and Paul as the fulfillment of the Lisan al-Gaib. Mapes gives Jessica a dagger made from the tooth of Shai Halud, the giant sandworms that make the desert of Arrakis so perilous. That night, while studying a holographic image of the Muad'Dib desert mouse, Paul survives an assassination attempt by a hunter-seeker drone. Leto surveys Arrakis and finds that the Harkonnens have sabotaged the infrastructure. They seek help from Liet Kynes, the Imperial Arbiter. Duncan reports Fremen are unbeatable fighters who live in underground communities called Sieches. Stilgar, a Siege leader, demands that Outworlders not venture beyond the city except for mining spice. Leto assures him that Sieches will remain inviolate and Fremen will not be hunted. Duncan shows the Atreides some Fremen tech, such as moisture-saving stillsuits and thumpers for attracting sandworms. Leto's party meets with Liet Kynes to investigate spice mining. They observe a sandcrawler attracting a worm, and Duke Leto rescues miners. Paul experiences visions under the influence of spice, including one of him and Chani. He's nearly sucked down into the sand with the crawler, but Gurney grabs him and hauls him aboard his father's ornithopter. The two watch as the sandworm's enormous, toothed maw opens and swallows the sandcrawler whole. Later, Paul is examined by Duke Huey, who informs Paul and his mother that the spice is psychoactive, but shouldn't harm Paul. Duke Leto wakes up in the middle of the night with a sense of unease. He finds Mapes stabbed to death. Huey reveals himself as a traitor. Huey, working for the Harkonnens, sabotages Atreides' communications, lowers the shields, and gives Duke Leto a poison capsule hidden in a tooth. The Harkonnens have Huey's wife, which forces him to comply with their orders. Gurney leads the counterattack as the Harkonnen and Sardaukar forces sent by the Emperor overpower the Atreides troops. Duncan kills Sardaukar soldiers and escapes in an ornithopter. Baron Harkonnen promised not to harm Paul and Jessica, yet he sent men to leave them in the desert to die. They survive and witness the devastation of Arrakis from a distance. Huey meets with Baron Harkonnen and demands that the Baron honor his end of the deal. The Baron promises that Huey will be reunited with his wife and then slits his throat. After paralyzing Leto, the Baron takes pleasure in his victory. However, Leto manages to bite down on a fake tooth and expel the poison, killing everyone in the room except the Baron. Paul has visions caused by his exposure to spice while sheltering in a survival tent during a storm. He sees Chani at first, but then visions of violent conflicts and religious zealots under the Atreides flag, spreading chaos across the galaxy. Duncan saves Paul and Jessica and takes them to Kynes with the Fremen. The Sardaukar track their attack, but Duncan sacrifices himself.
Duncan, no!
He's locked the door.
Paul and Jessica flee while Kynes calls a sandworm. The Sardaukar mortally wounds her, but before they kill her, a sandworm appears and swallows them all. Paul and Jessica fly through a sandstorm and are captured by a group of Fremen. Stilgar protects Paul while Jamis challenges Jessica to a duel. Stilgar finally agrees to take both of them to the Siege after realizing that Jessica is a Bene Gesserit. A duel breaks out between Paul and Fremen Jamis for Jessica's life. Chani gives Paul her crysknife, which was in one of Paul's visions. Paul outperforms Jamis, but learns that Fremen duels end in death. Reluctantly, Paul kills Jamis. The Fremen take Paul and Jessica to their siege. The movie concludes with Paul being welcomed by the Fremen, seemingly embracing his role as the Lisan al-Gaib. Thanks a lot for watching. Make sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. See you in the next one.